Imagine a warm afternoon. You are walking down the street. Someone walks up to you. They look friendly. They smile. They ask you a very simple question. Maybe they say, "What did you do last weekend?" You hear the words. You understand every single word. Inside your mind, you know the answer. You know the past tense. You know the vocabulary. But then something happens. Your chest feels tight. Your heart starts to beat fast. You try to speak, but nothing comes out. You feel completely frozen. The other person is still there. They are waiting for you. They are smiling. But you feel the seconds ticking away. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. The silence feels like a mountain. You feel nervous. You feel stuck. You wonder why your English disappeared. It feels so frustrating. It feels embarrassing. You have studied for years. You can read English. You can listen to English. But when it is time to speak, your voice just locks up. You think to yourself, "I know this. Why can I not say it?" Every time you want to talk, it feels like a big test. What if you did not have to feel this way? What if there was a secret way to practice speaking without any pressure? You do not need a classroom. You do not need a speaking partner. You do not even need to leave your room. You only need one thing: your own mind. Today, we are going to talk about a simple habit, a habit that will change everything. We are going to learn how to practice English conversations inside your head. Yes, completely inside your head. It is the safest place in the world. Let us find out how it works. Lesson 1. The safe room inside your head. Think about your normal day. From the moment you wake up, your mind is active. You open your eyes. You look at the ceiling. You think, "I need to get up now, or I will be late." You go to the kitchen. You look inside the fridge. You think, "What should I make for dinner tonight?" You walk out of your house. You walk down the street. Suddenly you stop. You think, "Did I lock the door?" These thoughts are completely natural. You do not plan them. You do not write them down. They just happen. Your mind is always talking to you. It is talking in your native language. Now, imagine a small change. Imagine starting to have these exact thoughts in English. It sounds very simple, because it is. When you talk to yourself, there is no pressure. No one is watching you. No one is waiting for your answer. No one is listening to your grammar. If you make a mistake, it does not matter. You can stop. You can start the sentence again. You can change the words. Your mind is like a private practice room. It is a safe room. In the real world, people might look at you. They might wait for you to finish. That makes you feel nervous. It makes you feel rushed. But inside this safe room, you have all the time in the world. You can think of a word for 1 minute. You can think of a word for 10 minutes. No one will get bored. It feels quiet. It feels safe. It feels peaceful. Every time you think in English, you build a small bridge. A bridge between your thoughts and your voice. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need to speak perfectly. You just need to let your mind play with the words. Think about how much we worry about other people. We worry about their opinions. We worry about their judgment. But inside your head, those worries disappear. There is no audience. There is only you. You are the speaker. And you are the listener. You can try new words. You can practice difficult sounds. If you get stuck, You do not need to feel embarrassed. You can laugh at your own mistakes and try again. It is a place of complete freedom. Every successful speaker started with this quiet practice. They built their strength in the dark before they stepped into the light. Your mind is ready for this. You just need to give it permission to start. Lesson 2. Playing both sides of the game. To make this safe room work, you need to play a game. It is a game with two players, and you are both of them. Many people only practice their own answers. They think about what they want to say. But that is only half of a conversation. In real life, a conversation is like a game of tennis. The other person hits the ball to you, and you must hit it back. To practice this inside your head, you must play both sides. You must create the other person too. Let us try this with some everyday moments. First, let us go to a cafe. In your mind, try to make the scene real. Smell the fresh coffee beans. Hear the quiet music in the background. You walk up to the counter. The person working there smiles at you. They speak first. "Hello, what can I get for you today?" Now, you answer. "Can I have a small coffee, please?" But do not stop there. What will they say next? They might ask, "Would you like milk?" You answer, "Yes, please, just a little." Then they ask, "Is that for here or to take away?" You say, "To take away, please." This is a complete conversation. It is short, simple, and very useful. You did both parts. You prepared your mind for the questions before you even stepped into the cafe. Now, let us try another scene. Imagine you are walking out of your house in the morning. The sun is warm on your face. You see your neighbor. He waves at you. He says, "Good morning. How are you?" You answer, "I'm good, thanks. How are you?" He says, "I'm fine. Are you going to work?" You answer, "Yes, I am. I am a little late today." This conversation is very simple, but it teaches your brain how one sentence follows another. Let us try a third situation. You are in a big supermarket. You are looking for rice, but you cannot find it. You see a worker. You ask for help. "Excuse me, where can I find the rice?" The worker points and says, "It is in aisle 6. You answer, "Thank you." The worker says, "You are welcome." You can practice this while you are actually walking around the store. Finally, let us try a bigger situation. Imagine you're checking into a hotel. The lobby is bright and quiet. You walk to the desk. The receptionist says, "Hello, how can I help you?" You answer, "Hi, I have a reservation." The receptionist asks, "What name is the reservation under?" You say, "It is under Emma Brown." The receptionist asks, "Can I see your passport, please?" You answer, "Of course. Here you are." The receptionist says, "Thank you. You are staying for 3 nights, is that right?" You answer, "Yes, that is right." When you play both people, you learn to expect common questions. You prepare your ears and your mind. You make the situation familiar, so you will not feel surprised when it happens in real life. Lesson 3. The power of simple English. We often believe a big lie. We think we must use big words to sound smart. We think we must speak like a textbook. But this is a trap. This trap makes speaking so much harder. Every time you try to find a big word, you freeze. Every time you try to make a long sentence, you get lost. It feels like you are carrying a heavy bag while trying to run. Let us drop that heavy bag right now. Simple English is not bad English. Simple English is beautiful. Simple English is clear, it is friendly, and it is natural. Imagine someone asks you a question. Why did you miss the meeting yesterday? You could try to make a very long and difficult sentence. You could try to explain every little detail. You might get confused with the grammar. Instead, keep it simple. You can say, I could not come because I had a personal problem. That is it. One short sentence. It is clear, it is easy to understand. The other person knows exactly what happened. You do not need to say more. Sometimes, you need a little moment to think. You do not have to answer immediately. You can use simple phrases to buy some time. You say, that is a good question. You say, let me think for a moment. You say, I am not sure, but I think these small phrases are like a bridge. They give your brain a few seconds to breathe. They help you stay calm. Imagine someone asks you, would you like to live in another country? Instead of freezing, you use your bridge. You say, well, that is a good question. I think it depends. Then you can continue slowly. You say, I would like to live in another country for a few years, but I would not want to leave my family forever. It feels natural. It sounds complete. It is very simple, but it works perfectly. We must remember that communication is about connection. It is not about showing off. When you speak simply, people can understand you easily. They feel comfortable talking to you. You do not need to study the dictionary. You do not need to learn words that nobody uses in real life. Use the words you already know. Use the simple tools you already have. Every time you choose a simple word, you build confidence. Every time you finish a simple sentence, you feel stronger. Simple is enough. Simple is powerful. Lesson 4. Rehearsing for the big moments. Think about tomorrow. Tomorrow is not just another normal day. Maybe you have something important to do. Maybe you have to go to a doctor. Maybe you have a job interview. Or maybe you have to make a difficult phone call. When you think about these moments, you feel a little knot in your stomach. You feel worried. You feel scared. You think, what if they ask me something I do not understand? What if I do not know what to say? Every time you worry, you make yourself feel weaker. But you can use your mind to prepare. You can run a rehearsal. Just like an actor before a big show. Let us imagine you are going to see a doctor tomorrow. You sit in the waiting room. Your heart is beating. Now, let us practice this in your head today. In your mind, you walk into the doctor's office. The doctor looks up and smiles. They ask, what seems to be the problem? You do not need to panic. You already practiced this. You say, I've had a bad cough for about a week. The doctor nods. They ask, do you have a temperature? You say, I do not think so, but I feel very tired. The doctor asks, are you taking any medicine? You say, yes. I'm taking some cough medicine. The doctor asks, has it helped? You say, not really. That is why I wanted to see you. This is a simple conversation, but because you did it today, you will not freeze tomorrow. When the real doctor asks you a question, your mind will find the words quickly. You will feel calmer. You will feel ready. Now, let us look at a bigger moment, a job interview. This is a moment where everyone feels nervous. Your hands feel cold, your mind feels cloudy. But you can practice the main parts today. Imagine the interviewer sitting across from you. They look at your resume. They ask, Can you tell me a little about yourself? This is a classic question. You do not need to make a long, complicated speech. You say, I'm an English teacher and I have several years of experience. You say, I enjoy helping learners become more confident. You say, I also enjoy learning new teaching methods. The interviewer listens. They ask, why are you interested in this job? You answer, I am interested in this job because it is close to my experience. You say, it will also give me a chance to learn new skills. When you practice like this, do not try to remember every single word. You are not an actor in a movie. You do not need to follow a perfect script. If you try to memorize every word, you will get stressed. If you forget one word, you will freeze. Instead, just remember the main ideas. Remember a few useful sentences. In the real conversation, things might change. The doctor might ask a different question. The interviewer might smile or look busy. That is completely fine. Because you practiced, you already have the words warm in your brain. You have the engine running. Every time you practice before a big event, you take away the fear. You build a shield of confidence. You tell yourself, I can do this. I am ready. Lesson 5. The art of changing the script. Now, let us make this game even more interesting. When you practice inside your head, you should not say the exact same words every day. If you do, your brain will fall asleep. You will just repeat things like a robot. But real life is not like that. Real life is full of little surprises. To prepare for these surprises, you must change the script. You must make small changes to your imaginary conversations. Let us look at a simple example. Imagine you are sitting in a cozy restaurant. The first time you practice the scene, you keep it very simple. The waiter comes to your table. You say, I would like the chicken sandwich, please. That is a good start. But the next day, you play the scene again. This time, you change the food. You look at the waiter in your mind. You say, I would like the vegetable soup, please. You changed one small detail. Your brain had to think of a new word. The third day, you play the scene again. This time, you add a little more detail. You make it a bit more specific. You say, I would like the vegetable soup, please. But can I have it without cream? Now, you're learning how to ask for special things. The fourth day, you play the scene again, but this time you ask a question. You say, does the soup come with bread? You are using the same basic situation, but every time you are changing the pattern. You are building new paths in your brain. You can also imagine small problems. Problems happen all the time in real life. What if you order the vegetable soup, but the waiter smiles and says, I'm sorry, we do not have the vegetable soup today. How do you answer? In your mind. You practice the backup plan. You say, in that case, I will have the chicken sandwich. This is how you build real confidence. You learn that a small change is not a disaster. It is just a new direction. You can also change the people in your mind. One day, imagine speaking to a very friendly waiter. He speaks slowly, he smiles, it feels easy. The next day, imagine a very busy waiter. He speaks fast, he does not smile, he has a loud voice. One day, imagine ordering food in a very quiet cafe. The next day, imagine ordering food in a crowded, noisy restaurant. Every time you change the scene, you make your brain work a little harder. Every time you change the person, You get stronger. You're training your mind to be flexible. You're teaching yourself to stay calm, no matter what happens. Real life is full of changes. Your practice should be too. Lesson 6. From mind to mouth and forgetting words. Practicing silently inside your head is a beautiful first step. It builds your confidence. It clears your thoughts. But we must also remember a very important truth. Your mind needs practice, but your physical mouth needs practice too. Speaking a language is not just about thinking. It is also about your muscles, your tongue, your lips, your throat. They all need to work together. They need to get used to the shape of English words. If you only practice in silence, you might feel a surprise when you try to speak out loud. The words might feel heavy. They might feel awkward on your tongue. To bridge this gap, we can use a simple 3-step method. First, think of a sentence in your head. Let us use a common one. I would like to make an appointment. Say it clearly in your mind. Second, whisper the sentence. Do it very quietly. Just let the air pass through your lips. I would like to make an appointment. Feel the shape of the words. Third, say it out loud. Use your normal speaking voice. I would like to make an appointment. When you do this, you might notice something. You might stumble in a word. You might stop in the middle of the sentence. Do not feel bad about this. This is actually a good thing. Now you know exactly where the problem is. You know which words need more practice. You can say that specific part again and again until it feels smooth. You can also use your phone. We all carry a recording tool in our pockets. Record your voice. Say a few simple sentences. Then, listen to the recording just one time. Do not look for every tiny mistake. Do not judge your accent. Just ask yourself one question. Was my meaning clear? Listen for very long pauses. If you find a sentence that felt difficult, choose that one sentence. Say it again. Record it again. This is how you get better, one small sentence at a time. But what happens when you are in a real conversation and you suddenly forget a word? This is the biggest fear for many learners. You are speaking smoothly and then blank. The word is gone. You feel a wave of panic. You want to run away. Please hear me. This happens to everyone. It happens to language learners. It happens to native speakers. When you forget a word, you do not have to stop the conversation. You do not have to fail. You can use a secret weapon. You can describe the word. Imagine you are talking about making tea, but you forget the word kettle. Do not freeze. Do not stay silent. Instead, say this. I cannot remember the exact word, but it is the thing we use to boil water. The other person will understand you immediately. They will smile and say, "Oh, do you mean a kettle?" And you can say, "Yes, that is the word. Thank you." Look at what happened there. You did not stop. You did not let the conversation die. You used simple words to explain a hard word. This is a massive victory. You saved the conversation. You can also use simple phrases when your mind goes blank. You can say, "I am not sure what it is called in English, but..." You can say, "Let me say that in another way." These phrases are like safety nets. They catch you when you fall. They show the other person that you are still playing the game. You do not need to be perfect to be a successful speaker. You just need to keep going. Lesson 7. The Daily Habit. How do you turn this simple practice into a real habit? You might think you do not have enough time. You might think you need to sit down at a desk with a book. You might think you need to study for hours, but that is not true. You do not need hours of free time. You do not need to feel tired after practicing. You only need 5 to 10 minutes. That is all. Just 5 to 10 minutes. But you must do it every single day. Consistency is your real superpower. Think about how you brush your teeth. You do not brush your teeth for 3 hours on Sunday. You do it for 2 minutes every morning and every night. You do it because it is a habit. This mental practice is exactly the same. You can fit it into the small, quiet moments of your day. In the morning, while you are waiting for your breakfast, you can imagine your plans for the day. You say to yourself, "Today is going to be a busy day. I need to finish my work. Then I will meet a friend." While you are walking to the bus stop, you can imagine someone asking you for help. They say, "Excuse me, how do I get to the train station?" You answer, "Go straight and turn left at the corner. It is opposite the bank." Before lunch, you can imagine ordering your favorite meal. Every time you find yourself waiting, you can build a small conversation. In the evening, you can tell yourself a short story about how your day went. You can also use the same question for several days. You do not always need a new topic. For example, think of the question, "What did you do yesterday?" On the first day, you give a very simple answer. You say, "Yesterday, I stayed at home and finished some work." On the second day, you change the answer to keep your brain active. You say, "Yesterday, I met a friend and went out for lunch." On the third day, you make the answer a little longer. You say, "Yesterday was quite busy. I went shopping in the morning, I cleaned the house in the afternoon, and I answered some emails in the evening." Every time you answer, you use the same question, but you create a completely different story. It feels easy, it feels natural. Every day you do this, you make your English brain a little bit stronger. You do not need to wait for a special day. You can start today. You can start right now. We must remember one important thing. Practicing inside your head is a beautiful tool, but it cannot completely replace talking to real people. Real people are full of surprises. They might speak very quickly, they might use words you do not know, they might change the topic suddenly. But do not let that scare you. Your mental practice is the foundation. It prepares your mind, it warms up your brain, it takes away the heavy fear of speaking. When you step into the real world, you are not starting from zero. You already have the words waiting inside you. You do not need to wait for a perfect speaking partner. You do not need to wait for a trip to another country. You have everything you need right now inside your own head. Your mind is your greatest power. Every little conversation you have in silence makes you stronger. Every time you think in English, you become more confident. So use this power every single day. Keep playing the game. Keep creating these little conversations wherever you go. Thank you so much for spending this quiet time with me. If you enjoyed this, please join me again in this space. Until next time, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. You are doing great, and you are closer to your dream than you think. Bye for now.